Wake up! Wake up!
What?
Wake up!
I'm up.
Galen! Galen, wake up!
Stop shaking me, what?
I thought we'd open this for breakfast.
Champagne?
Nothing less will do.
Stapleton, what's happening?
It's time to open the champagne, the bottle we've been waiting for this very moment. It works. I've done the calculations, and it works. There is no other reasonable explanation.
Stapleton, are you sure? I mean, absolutely 100%.
Galen, listen to me. I've done them not once, not twice, but 100 times. You're right. There is no other reasonable explanation.
Can't believe it. Oh my God, we've done the unthinkable. The unthinkable! Oh my God, they're gonna fight us tooth and nail. I've been blowing hints of it past them for weeks, just sounding them out. They think we're kidding. Kidding, as if this is some kind of parlor game, but it isn't. Not anymore. Shall we? To a world that'll never see itself the same way again.
To a new world order.
Who is it?
Lindsay. I called first, several times, but...
Phone's unplugged.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No. The editor of the journal is always welcome here, Lindsay. A publication soon to be famous, I might add. Here. You can just move this stuff and have a seat. My papers are all in order, I trust.
As far as I can tell, they are.
What do you think?
Well, I'm here to ask a favor.
And what would that be?
That you withdraw the paper for purposes of the upcoming publication of the journal.
Withdraw the paper?
Just temporarily, for this issue.
Why?
So your colleagues can have more time to examine your work. verify the calculations, redo all the math, study your conclusions. It is a complicated piece, Galen.
You mean another year?
Well, we only publish once a year, so.
No. That's ridiculous. My colleagues have had the paper for over 4 months. The rules require only 90 days. No. My colleagues, as you call them, have had more than enough time. Rules are rules, right, Lindsay?
I don't dispute that, Galen, but you've got to understand this is a very complicated piece. The calculations alone run dozens of pages.
That's why I've included the calculations. These calculations don't lie. Only people lie. I absolutely reject the idea of postponing for another year. Postpone it. You've got to be kidding. It's been all I can do to wait for this year's publication. If my colleagues don't understand what I've written, or don't want to understand it, is that my problem? Look, if they disagree with my conclusions, then let them publish their objections and the world can decide.
Look, Galen, you don't seem to understand some things.
Like what, Lindsay?
Like we have a reputation to uphold.
We?
The university as an institution. The Journal of Astronomy as an academic publication.
A reputation for what?
For probity, for excellence, for the carefully thought out quality of our work.
And
we don't want to do anything to impair that reputation.
Oh, and you're saying what? That I'm about to impair the reputation of the university?
What I'm saying is there's a growing consensus that we should wait a while before publishing this.
A growing consensus. Among whom?
Your colleagues, the department heads, Dr. Walter.
Dr. Walter? What's he got to do with this? He wouldn't know a comet from a cantaloupe. No, this is a matter entirely within the province of the astronomy department.
Dr. Walter is the university provost. If the astronomy department does something that tarnishes the reputation of the department, the reputation of the entire university suffers. And it's his job to see that doesn't happen.
Oh, and how? Pray tell, will my paper tarnish, as you say, the reputation of the university?
Look, Galen, I'll be frank. I can see that subtlety won't work. There's growing concern that publication of this paper at this point in time will hold the Journal of Astronomy and, of course, the university up to ridicule and scorn.
Why?
Have you read this?
Read it. I read it. I wrote it.
Do you know what it says?
Of course I know what it says.
That the sun doesn't revolve around the Earth.
Right.
But that the Earth revolves around the sun.
Right. That's why I've denominated the paper heliocentric.
And that day and night are caused not by the sun rotating around the Earth once a day, but because the Earth spins around on its axis once a day?
Right. See? Even a total idiot can understand it. And the proper term, it isn't spin, Lindsay, it's rotate. The Earth rotates on its axis once a day, thereby causing day and night. All is set forth in the paper with the calculations to prove it.
Look, Galen, I realize you're a gifted astronomer and your students love you. They worship you. And I would not suggest that as an astronomer, I am fit to kiss the hem of your robe. But really, in all seriousness, this is some kind of joke?
Is what some kind of joke,
This,
Lindsay?
I'm talking about this, your paper, so-called. Your theories, so-called.
They're not so-called theories, Lindsay. They were theories until Stapleton and I proved the truth of them. The Earth does rotate around the sun, not the sun around the Earth. Tell me, do you have a problem with facts, Lindsay?
Galen, look, you've been working hard. Very hard. And it's obvious how hard you've been working. You do good work. Your students think the world of you. And your reputation puts you among astronomers of the first rank. You really don't want to throw all that away with one foolish paper, do you?
Foolish? No. Lindsay, the only thing foolish is the idea that I postpone publication for another year. Postpone it. Look, maybe what I'm saying is too dense for my so-called colleagues to understand, but I assure you that my students will understand it.
You certainly don't intend to tell your students that the Earth revolves around the sun.
Oh, and you prefer what? That I tell them a lie?
Oh, look, as your friend and longtime admirer, I urge you not to do anything peremptory.
Oh, peremptory? Well, you shouldn't be using big words like that, Lindsay. Tell me, what exactly is that supposed to mean?
What I'm saying is, if I were you, I wouldn't go promulgating any new celestial theories to your students. Not until they can be properly vetted.
That is what the publishing process is all about. As the editor of this prestigious publication, I would have expected you to know that.
Look, Galen, I'm not here to be insulted. I'm here to give you some advice. Some good advice. And to urge caution. Yes, caution. Look, if your theories are valid today, then they'll be valid a year from today, no?
They're valid now, and they'll be valid forever. That's the nature of the truth, Lindsay. It's indestructible.
Galen, I urge you not to voice these new celestial theories to your students. Not yet. Please?
When then?
Not until we can be absolutely certain.
Who is we?
We is the university. We is Dr. Walter. We is your colleagues. Look, Galen, what I'm saying is if you're right, there's no harm in waiting for a while to publish. But if you're wrong, and you begin teaching these new theories to your students, the university will be held up to ridicule. We'll become the national laughingstock. Our accreditation will become impaired. Our students will flee the institution for saner venues. Is that what you want?
There's only one thing I want, Lindsay.
And what is that?
It's to tell my students the truth.
Who is it?
Open the goddamn door before I kick it in. Well, since you're obviously not going to eat unless I bring it to you, here it is. You know, I've been thinking that since we don't seem to live together anymore, maybe I should take in a boarder. How about that?
You're pissed.
You never come home anymore. You live here now. Jesus, look at this place. Galen, I worry about you.
There's nothing to worry about, my love.
My love? You don't love me. You're not talking to me. You love this here. This and, well, maybe Stapleton.
Molly, please.
And how come you're not answering your phone?
Must be unplugged.
Unplugged?
Well, it's always ringing and I can never get anything done.
You think it's right to unplug the phone so that I have to drive all the way over here to bring you your messages?
What messages?
Marilyn's been trying to reach you for 2 days.
What about?
She said Dr. Walter needs to talk to you. I emphasize needs because Marilyn emphasized it.
But she didn't say what about.
Not to me. She said, have him call immediately. so she can make an appointment with Dr. Walter for Friday. But she seemed concerned.
Well, it is Marilyn's job to be concerned.
I mean, usually Marilyn's very chatty, you know? I mean, we've known her for years, right? But this time it was all business. You're not concerned?
Should I be?
I don't know. Should you?
You certainly think I should be.
You don't know what it's about?
I could guess, but why bother? And it's certainly nothing for you to be worrying about.
It's about that paper you're writing, isn't it?
Well, what makes you say that?
It is, isn't it?
Could be.
And you're not concerned?
No. I have nothing to be concerned about.
Jesus, Galen, don't you ever listen to your friends?
What friends are those?
Your friends, our friends, people that like us and want what's best for us.
What are my so-called friends saying?
That you shouldn't publish your paper. Well, at least not now.
Why not?
And you'll have to ask them, Galen.
They're not here, Molly. I'm asking you. Why not?
They're afraid you'll do something stupid.
Like what?
Like this Earth goes around the sun stuff.
But it does.
Listen, Galen, this is no time to be joking.
I'm not joking.
You know, even if you think the Earth goes around the sun, it's stupid to be saying that in a paper that's going to be published.
Why?
You're a smart man, Galen. You can be really stupid sometimes. Stupid and arrogant. Yes, arrogant and pig-headed. You're gonna make a fool of yourself and of the university. And if you don't see that, then you are a fool. If the university publishes a paper about the Earth going around the sun, they'll be held up to ridicule, that they'll be a laughingstock.
Is that what my so-called friends are saying?
No, that's what your so-called wife is saying.
You've got no reason to be upset with me. I've done nothing wrong.
You don't listen, Galen. And you're the most stubborn person I've ever met.
Stubborn. Stubborn. So that's what it's come to. I'm stubborn because I want to publish what I believe to be true.
But it's not just about you, Galen. It's about me, too. I mean, we have a life here, you know, that we live in a nice house. We live in a safe neighborhood. And you like your job. I like mine. Our kids grew up here. And when they come home, this is their home. I want it to be like that always. Don't you?
Molly. Okay. Let's get through the bullshit here, Molly. Who have you been talking to?
Galen, look, you've got to understand, your friends are concerned.
About
Your welfare, our welfare. I go crying, you know, but people speak up.
And what do they say?
They say that you're under a lot of stress, that you've been pushing too hard.
And you? What do you think?
I think you've gone bananas over this whole thing. I mean, look at this place. A madman lives here. 2 madmen, actually. One of them living in a closet when he's not sleeping under the bridge. And look at you. When's the last time you took a shower? Changed those clothes? I hear you wear those rags to class now. I hope you're not going to see Dr. Walter in that outfit. You're not eating right. Junk food, that's what's happening here. You don't exercise anymore. You used to ride your bike 10 miles a day. You don't come home anymore. This is your home now. You live here. It's a pigsty. Look, I really do understand, Galen, and I worry about you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with intensity. I know that. You are who you are. I accept that. But you know, you've lost your balance in this thing, Galen. You're going over the edge.
Oh, help. I'm falling.
You think it's funny, Galen, I know. But you don't realize how intense you've been, how dragged out you've been. And it's not just about you, Galen. It's about me, too. You're not alone in this world, even though you act these days like you are. You're with someone, and that someone is me. And I'm worried about what's going on.
Look, Molly, I realize I've been intense. I realize I've been carried away by this whole thing, but that's all about to end. Once I publish this paper, I'm done. I can cut back, relax, you know? Because I figured out the truth of the matter. The Earth does revolve around the sun, not the sun around the Earth. We've proven it. We can prove it. Have proven it. And Stapleton's done all the calculations. And if I'm wrong, well, if I'm wrong, the world can correct me. I'm not too proud to be corrected. But there never will be a correction. And you know why? Because the Earth does go around the sun. That is the absolute truth of it.
Oh, Galen.
What?
I really think you should listen to what your friends are saying.
Friends? How can people who are telling me not to publish the absolute truth as I see it be my friends?
You worry too much about the truth.
Maybe you don't worry enough about it.
Galen, these are smart people. And they're saying that you've gotten lost out there. You need to come back. They're saying that you have some sort of mental dyslexia. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. Mental dyslexia, where you see things upside down and backwards. Jesus, Galen, if you can see it, the sun going around the Earth, why are you looking under rugs for problems?
I'm not looking under the rug for problems, Molly. I'm just trying to explain how this whole thing really works. It's called the scientific process. My friends and so-called colleagues don't seem to understand that.
You know what I think, Galen?
What?
I think you've gotten lost out there. It's not normal to be up there all night, looking into nowhere, and then sitting up the other half of the night talking about it with some bum under a bridge. Look, Galen, I know that the sun and the stars and the moon, and it's all very important and everything, but there are other things in life. What about us? Isn't there an us? I mean, don't we count?
Of course we do.
And you don't act like it. We never spend any time together anymore. And now I'm hearing from your friends, your good friends, that you're about to throw everything away. Everything we have here. Everything! By publishing some silly paper that's gonna make you look crazy. Absolutely crazy!
So looks are all you care about.
You make my concerns sound trivial, Galen, but I can tell from talking to Todd that if you publish that theory of yours, life as we know it here, this place, this house, this everything, is over with. People will shun us, Galen. You don't seem to understand how serious this is.
Been talking to Todd about my paper?
Todd's your friend, Galen. Your best friend in the department. I've heard you say he's a smart man, and you don't say that about many people. But I can tell you he's concerned. And I'll tell you what else Todd says. He says you should be seeing someone.
Seeing someone?
Yes.
Seeing someone.
Yeah, someone.
You mean seeing a psychiatrist, Molly? I should be seeing a psychiatrist because I'm crazy. It's come to that?
No, not crazy, Galen. Stressed. Temporarily unbalanced. There are medications for these kinds of things.
Oh, and maybe you and Todd should take some.
I knew it.
What?
I knew you'd be pig-headed and arrogant about it all.
Well, oink oink, Molly. And an oink oink for Todd, too.
Who is it?
It's me, Todd.
Thanks for coming, Todd.
Hey, whatever it is.
Well, I've actually asked you here for some counsel.
About?
Well, what do you think?
Your paper.
Yeah, so, you're the only person in the department that I care to consult on the matters.
Okay.
You understand, of course, that, there's resistance, apparently, in some quarters to publication.
I do.
Lindsay was in here the other day, urging me, as she put it, to delay publication. And I have an appointment to see Dr. Walter on Friday.
I'd heard that.
So, what do you think?
About?
About the whole thing, I mean, what do you think I should do?
Well, I think you should proceed with caution.
All for caution, Todd, but what does that mean?
It means, Galen, that you should give the matter very careful consideration. Very careful consideration.
I've done
As a
that.
colleague and as your friend, that's my advice.
I have, though. I have given it consideration. Very careful consideration, as you put it. And after that very careful consideration, I'm ready to publish.
If you publish now, people will be up in arms.
What people?
People who matter, Galen.
There's no need for anybody to be up in arms. I mean, all I'm trying to do is publish the truth as I see it. It's a scientific theory. I believe it to be true.
Look, Galen, you are not just anybody. You're somebody. People look up to you. You're right at the top of the game. When you speak, people listen. And you are not, as you say, just publishing a scientific theory. You are attempting to turn reality upside down.
No. I'm turning it right side up. The way we see it now is already upside down.
But why now?
Why wait?
Well, perhaps in time people will be more, forgiving. I mean, yeah, that's it. They'll be more forgiving.
There's nothing to forgive.
A lot of people aren't going to see it that way, Galen.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Colleague to colleague.
All right?
Is it that you think I'm wrong? Or is it that even if I'm right, you don't think I should publish?
I think you have some very tantalizing ideas. The kind of ideas that cause the mind to look at reality in new ways. But frankly, I think that's all you've got right now is some tantalizing ideas fit for informal dissemination among your peers. And I emphasize informal. No public manifestos, no public publications that declare that the Earth is not the center of the universe.
But that's what I'm saying, Todd. You know that.
I do. I know that's what you're saying. I know that's precisely what you're saying. And that's why I am saying, do not say it. Why throw away your career, your status, your everything?
But you're getting carried away. If people disagree with me, that's fine. I'll take their criticisms head on.
Disagree? You're using the wrong frame of reference, Galen. It is not disagreement that you should be worried about, Galen. It is your job, your reputation, your lifestyle, who knows what else. Possibly even your life. There are people, I am sure, that will not take kindly to being told that the earth, this earth that God created, is not the center of the universe. Where does this leave God in the equation? Please. Listen. I ran your ideas past Cranston. You know Cranston. He's a good mind. And he's not given to hysteria. He thought your whole thing was, well, rather amusing. But when I told him that you were going to publish, that you were going to go public and publish in the Journal of Astronomy, he nearly flipped out. Hey, he thinks you're kidding. He thinks you're just gaslighting everybody, perpetuating a joke. And that he said that there is no doubt in his mind that if you go public with this, you're history.
Well, then I am going to be history because I've proven it. We have the calculations. The answer, with Stapleton's able assistance, we've proven it. The Earth is not fixed in space. It's in orbit around the sun. It's in motion. And yeah, it's not what we've always thought or been taught. But I am going to go forward, as you put it.
That's all very nice, Galen. And I know you've done your work night after night up there on the telescope. And I know you, Stapleton. You're a genius when it comes to calculations. But what you don't seem to realize is that if you say that the sun, not the earth, is the center of the universe, there are very powerful people who are not going to like it.
They don't have to believe it, and they don't have to like it. And if, after comparing competing proofs, they want to be willfully stupid, that is not my problem. As a scientist, I have only one obligation, only one, and that is to tell the truth as I see it, backed by assertions of facts and logic. Science.
That's all wonderful, Galen. You're a fantastic scientist, but you do not live in a textbook. You live in a real world with real people, people who believe beyond all doubt that this earth that God created is the fixed locus around which all other heavenly bodies rotate. Not only is this an ancient belief, but it's well-founded in daily observation.
But it's not science, Todd. It's no more than a belief. And no matter how deeply venerated and firmly held a belief is, it's no more than a belief. Nobody has ever proved that the earth and the stars and all that revolve around the earth.
Proved? What is there to prove? All you have to do is go out and look. The problem is, Galen, you've stopped looking.
Look, Todd, you've seen all the calculations, and you're a smart man. Please, you tell me where I went wrong. You show me, and I won't go forward. Why would I go forward with a broken truth? A falsehood? No, please. Please, you tell me where I went wrong, Todd.
It's all very clever. Galen, I'll admit that. I have looked through these papers till I'm blurry-eyed. But there is nothing in here that will ever convince anyone else that the sun and not the earth is the center of the universe. People will laugh, Galen. Especially when you tell them that it's day and night is caused not because the sun is revolving around the earth as it clearly appears, but because the earth is rotating on its axis?
Let them laugh.
It is not their laughter that you need to worry about, Galen. It is your safety and the safety of those that you love. There are people who will not think it's funny, these theories of yours. They will be angry, even vengeful.
Let me ask you something. Point blank. Do you think maybe I'm a little crazy?
I think you're stressed.
Do you think I should be seeing a shrink?
That's not for me to decide.
Do you think maybe I should be taking medications?
Well, Galen, I'm not a doctor.
Should they send me up to Kingsdale? Is that what you think, Todd? Kingsdale?
Pourriez nous expliquer ce pourquoi vous êtes rentré à l'hôpital?
Oui, je suis rentrée à l'hôpital, j'avais pris un rendez-vous parce que j'étais très nerveuse. Au bureau, je ne pouvais plus taper, j'étais très impressionnée par les gens. Et j'avais l'impression que les gens me suivaient.
Who is it?
Dino.
Hey, Dino.
Whoa. I can see Molly wasn't kidding. How you doing, Stapes? You keeping an eye on my guy over here? So did this place just get ransacked or something? I mean, how can you find anything around here? Hey, Stapes, there's not a body buried underneath there, is there? I mean, not that I'm a clean freak or anything, but Molly was right. This place is a pigsty. So how you been? You look like shit. No color. Nice. Hey, are we getting a little flabby?
It's good to see you.
How come we never hear from you? You never get on the ride, you never come out and ride with us anymore.
It's just I've been really busy with this project, and it's taken up a lot of my time.
So Molly says, but you don't got a couple hours twice a week to come ride with us?
I miss it, but it's just...
Don't butt me, Galen. Come on, man. Once you let butts get in the way, well, it's all downhill from there. Is that what's going on here, Galen? Just coasting downhill from here on? No more hills, no more breathing hard? And in case I haven't told you yet, you look like shit. Doesn't he, Stapes? I'll take that as a yes. So what the hell's so goddamn important you can't get back on the bike? Shit, man, we miss you.
I'm coming back. I promise. I'm almost to the end of this project.
Is this the one about the sun and the moon?
Is that what Molly said?
Something like that. I wasn't really paying attention. She did say you were bonkers over whatever it was. So, are you bonkers over the sun and the moon?
No. They are bonkers over me.
The sun and the moon?
The reactionary assholes who run this hellhole they call a university.
Oh, do I detect a little anger? I thought you loved this place.
No, I love teaching, Dino. That's what I love. As for the place itself, it's where reactionary administrators come to die. It's all way too complicated to really get into.
You think it's too complicated for some poor, stupid schmuck who runs a furniture store.
Well, I'm glad you said it, Dino, not me. Look, you really want to know. I'll tell you. The reactionary jerks who run this place want me to continue teaching cosmological theories that are outdated and incorrect. In other words, they want me to teach a lie.
And what lie is that?
That the sun revolves around the earth.
Doesn't it?
No.
Since when?
Well, since the beginning.
I haven't heard that.
No, that's because you weren't taught that. You were taught that the sun revolves around the earth, and the teachers who taught your teachers were taught that, and their teachers taught them that, and their teachers taught them that, all the way back to the beginning. It wasn't a lie, of course, just an honestly held untruth. But those times are over, or will be soon. Not only will your grandchildren know the real truth of the matter, but they will wonder why people of our generation, that's you and me, ever thought otherwise.
Let me get this straight. You two guys in this pigsty are telling me that the Earth revolves around the sun and not the sun around the Earth?
That's right.
Based on what?
We've proven it.
Proved it how?
Observations, calculations, the way that all astronomical theories are proven.
But if the sun doesn't go around the Earth, how do we get day and night?
Good question, Dino. It happens like this. We've got our sun here, and this will be our Earth. Once a year, the Earth rotates around the sun, just like this. Meanwhile, every day, it rotates on its axis once, so that 12 hours, this side's in the light. In the next 12 hours, this side's in the light.
This is a joke, right?
No.
So what you guys are trying to say is that the Earth that we're standing on right here is whirring around the sun.
Yeah, at thousands of miles an hour.
At thousands of miles an hour?
Right.
I don't know what to say, Galen. I have a lot of respect for the work that you do. And I hear you're number one around here. And I really like to hear you talk about comets, but you're not really serious.
But I am.
What can I say? I'm not an astronomer or a scientist. I'm just a guy who owns a furniture store. And I certainly hope what you guys are saying isn't going to be bad for business, but all of this stuff is way beyond me, Galen. And how come when I get up in the morning, I see the sunrise over here? And how come in the evening I see the sun going down over there?
It's a good question. It's an illusion.
An illusion?
Yeah.
An illusion that everyone sees?
Everyone.
But not you.
No, I see the same thing you do. It looks to me like the sun comes up over there and sets over there, but it's nothing more than an illusion.
What about me, Galen? Am I an illusion?
No. You're sitting right there, I think. Look, I'm not asking you to believe what I'm saying is true. Its truth is a matter of science, and with Stapleton's able assistance, I've written this paper proving what I'm talking about. That's what I've been working on all this time, so intensely. And because of it, My marriage is in shambles. I never come home anymore, and as I can see you well know, Molly is pissed. As well she ought to be. She never bargained for any of this.
What do they want you to do?
Can the piece. And go on teaching my students incorrect cosmological theories. A lie. That the sun revolves around the earth. It's just not true. The earth revolves around the sun.
Can they stop you?
No. No, because I'm a tenured professor, and I can only be removed or silenced for just cause. And they have no cause. They have no coherent, persuasive refutations to make. If they had, they would have made them months ago. And instead, all I'm hearing are whispers. Not that my theories are incorrect, but that they're outrageous and will cause an uproar.
Well, it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, the Earth moving around the sun at thousands of miles an hour is when it seems like we're standing still. Jesus. Galen, that's a hell of a stretch. It's like saying down is up or backwards is really forwards.
I don't dispute that. But look, Dino, this isn't the first time that the world has believed as true something that later proved to be false. At one time, the best minds believed that the Earth was flat. So they thought if you sailed far enough in one direction, you'd fall off the edge. It's not an unreasonable assumption. I mean, it doesn't look round. It looks flat. One day, people will come to accept that even though it looks like the sun orbits around the Earth, the contrary is true. But I'm hearing things like, oh, you can't publish this even if it is true. And when I say why, people just look at me sideways like I'm saying something they don't want to hear. And let me tell you, they have put the fear of God into Molly, and now she's saying things like, if you go forward with publication, you'll lose your job, and we'll lose our house and have to move, and...
What does she want you to do?
Can the piece. Or else not publish? Not yet? I don't know. Go along, get along.
What are you going to do?
Unless somebody can convince me that there's anything wrong with publishing as true what I believe to be true, I'm gonna go ahead and publish and let the chips fall where they may. What do you think I should do?
I'm not a scientist.
It's not a scientific question, Dino.
Well, put me on the spot, Galen.
That's what friends are all about.
Okay. Let me get this straight. You're saying that the Earth rotates around the sun like this?
That's right.
Not the sun around the Earth.
Exactly.
And how is it we get day and night?
Well, that's because of the Earth's rotation on its axis. Once a day, this side is on light for half the day, and the other half, this side is in the light.
And you're absolutely sure about all this stuff?
We are. That's what proof is all about. It gives the mind permission to be sure.
And you're saying that the Earth is not standing still, it's moving.
Through space at thousands of miles an hour.
Even though it doesn't feel like it's moving?
Right.
Well, then how come if the Earth is moving at thousands of miles an hour, there's no wind? How come we're not blowing off the planet?
And the answer is that the wind is moving at thousands of miles an hour, too.
Jesus Christ, Galen. It's hard to know what to think about all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I mean, this is way beyond strange.
That's because it is.
And why does the world need to know all this stuff about the beer bottle and the apple?
Because it's true.
So what?
What do you mean, so what?
Just because something's true, you think the world has to know about it?
I can't believe what I'm hearing, Dino.
Maybe the truth is overrated, Galen. I mean, even if something's true, if talking about it is going to upset a lot of people or upset a lot of apple carts, maybe it's just a lot simpler to let people believe in untruths.
They can't stop us, Stapleton. Either we go about this the orderly way, we publish and then take the doctrine into the classroom, or we go directly into the classroom, give our eager young minds something real to chew on, allow them to have a taste of history. Enable them to tell their grandchildren one day, I was there at the creation.
Galen, I think you're getting carried away.
Carried away?
Yeah, I think
Stapleton, you don't seem to grasp the full dimension of what's happening here. My students, our students, will soon be apostles of the new word, the new Genesis. And the Lord said, let the earth revolve around the sun, and let it rotate on its axis to give us day and night. We are about to usher in a new cosmological era, the heliocentric era. They'll try to stop us, of course. Try to bar our doctrine from the classroom, but their efforts to silence us will only make the word stronger. As they say, everyone wants a book that was banned in Boston. It's been a good run, Stapleton, and I could not have done it without you.
You're too kind, Galen. All I did was the calculations.
Stapleton, you sell yourself short again. Without the calculations, there's nothing. I'm just another crazy man standing on the corner, telling the world up is really down, left is really right, light is dark. No. We're gonna be in the big time soon. Stapleton, us. Not me, you and me, us. Not even linked vertically as teacher and pupil, but horizontally as colleagues in arms, because that is what we are, colleagues in arms. Tomorrow, I deal with Air Walter. The last bump in the road on the way to the prize.
The prize?
The Nobel Prize.
You don't really think that
Stapleton, come on! You don't seem to understand what's happening here. You've been spending too much time under the bridge. Ever since man climbed out of the primordial soup, people have believed that the sun revolved around the earth and that day and night were thereby caused. And now we, that is you and I, Stapleton, have proved the contrary. We've proven that the earth revolves around the sun, not the sun around the earth. And that, in my opinion, warrants the prize. Don't you agree? Tomorrow, after this business with Air Walter is concluded, I need to go home. I gotta go see Molly. I mean, I am stretched to the limits with her. She did not bargain for any of this, and I didn't ask permission. I just did it because it needed to be done. And now that it's done, I have some bridges to repair. just in case anything happens down the road, we're both clear on what's to happen, right?
We are.
I know I can rely on you.
You can.
It's not about us, Stapleton. It's about the message that we bring to the world. We are expendable, but the word must survive. Heliocentric.
Heliocentric. Well, how was your audience with His Eminence?
Lots of fun, as you might imagine.
You look something less than terribly happy.
I think that's a fair statement, Stapleton.
I assume His Eminence wasn't pleased with your desire to continue with the publication?
Not really.
Any surprises?
Not really. How can it be that a man who runs a university, an institution established to protect and promulgate knowledge, would object to the publication of a peer-reviewed scientific paper? Who is it?
You promised you'd be home right away.
I'm on my way.
On your way? Doesn't seem to me like you're on your way. Does Stapleton come before me now? Is that it?
Molly.
Are you his wife, Stapleton?
Molly.
Are you and Galen fucking?
Molly, please.
I need to talk to Galen. Alone. Well?
Well, what?
What happened with Dr. Walter?
We just had our little talk, that's all.
And? Did he tell you not to publish your paper?
Tell me? No, Dr. Walter knows the rules as well as I do. As a tenured professor, I have absolute right to publish in the journal. So, no, he did not tell me not to do something I have absolute right to do. He asked.
Asked you not to publish?
Not that directly. Asked me to delay publication.
And what did you say?
I asked him why, of course. A reasonable question under the circumstances.
I see you were on your high horse.
I had every reason to be. I have complied with all publication requisites.
And what did he say?
He said lots of things. You know the good doctor. Never at a loss for words.
What did he say?
He said we should wait a year to let my colleagues have enough more time to vet the piece.
And what did you say?
I said, in a voice, a tone every bit as reasonable as his, that my colleagues, so-called, have had more than 4 months to vet the piece, when the rules require only 90 days. So I told him in no uncertain terms I was not going to wait to publish. And I told him why. I said there are 2 good reasons why I will not wait. Firstly, if the Earth really does revolve around the sun, then the world needs to know. Just as the world, not just sailors, needed to know that the world is round, not flat. Why? Because it's true. It's called science. And secondly, more importantly, from my perspective as a tenured professor at this so-called university, is the ethical dilemma. Ethical, that was the key word, Molly.
I said to the good doctor, how am I supposed to teach my students a lie for a year, even if it is only for a year? And how would I justify it at the end of that? Would I say, oh, I'm sorry, I taught you a bunch of shit all year so that you, my so-called colleagues, could have more time to do nothing? Lazy bastards. Lazy bastards and cowards.
I see. You got on your high horse and made an asshole of yourself. You think you're the sun and the rest of the world should revolve around you.
I may have been on my high horse, Molly, but if there was an asshole in the room, it was His Royal Eminence, our great protector, Dr. Adolf Walter. Axe to him. You know, he threw a fit when he found out I was actually going to teach the truth of the matter. That, my dear, seemed to gall him more than my refusal to put off publication for a year.
Galen, look, I love you. You know that.
I do.
And I support you, or try to, in everything you do.
You do.
And I'd like to be able to stand behind you on this, Galen. I really would. But I'm terribly concerned.
Concerned that I'm right?
Concerned that you've been working too hard and pushing too hard. Wouldn't it be better to wait a while? Let things rest until you've had more time to consider the matter. You know, look, if you're right today, you'll be right tomorrow. Right is right, right?
Right.
So there's no harm in waiting. Right doesn't become wrong just because you wait a while. Wait until you've gotten some distance on the matter and until you've had some time to rest a while.
Rest? Rest? I don't need rest. I'm fine. I feel fine.
But you're not fine. I know it. Your friends know it. Dino knows it. I mean, was shocked at the scene the other day when he was here, and he said you look terrible. Your colleagues know it, and Dr. Walter knows it. Galen, you've been going at it day and night for months now.
You think my resting will change the truth of the matter? If I rest, the sun will start going around the earth again.
Galen, I'm worried about you. I think you need some time off.
For what?
To get away, to go to the Caribbean, to lie on the sand, to do some snorkeling, eat fresh seafood, run in the sand, drink margaritas. All the things we've talked about all these years.
It sounds nice, Molly. It does. But you forget I have a job.
Take a year-long sabbatical.
I can't do that, not for another 2 years.
We can do it now. We can leave right now. We can go tomorrow and not come back for a year, and you'll still get full pay.
What the hell are you talking about?
Trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Who says I can go on paid sabbatical right now?
People who have your best interests at heart.
You're not answering the question, Molly. Who have you been talking to? Who's trying to backdoor me through you?
Look, Galen, you have friends here. And your friends care about you. They want what's best for you. For us. And Dr. Walter, no matter how you feel about him, he wants what's best for you, too. And what's best for you, Galen, is some time off. We need it. You deserve it. We've been working on this project for 2 years now, day and night. I mean, it's done, right? I mean, you tell me it's finished.
It is.
Good. Then we can go now.
And this is what you and my so-called friends have cooked up.
Your friends are concerned about your health, Galen, and so am I.
There is nothing wrong with my health, Molly.
Your friends think there is.
And you, what do you think?
I think You need some time off.
Look, Molly, I know you love me. And I know you want what's best for me. But this train is on the tracks. Do you think I don't know what's going on? You think I don't know why they want me to go on sabbatical? Now, today. Goodbye, gone. Have a good trip. The real reason? The real reason has got nothing to do with my health, Molly. They don't give two shits about my health. The real reason is they want me on sabbatical so they can postpone publication. If I'm on sabbatical, I'm on non-active status. And if I'm on non-active status, the publication mandates don't apply. And they don't have to publish my paper. They want me to go now so they can postpone publication. You think I don't know the rules, Molly?
Galen, please.
Fuck them. Who's it?
It's me.
What the hell is this?
I'm here with your friends, Galen. We're worried about you.
We love you, buddy. And we're just here because we're worried about you. It's true, Galen. We love you, but we're worried.
What the hell is going on?
Dr. Walter is here as your friend, as my friend, our friend, and he has a very generous offer to make.
Hello, Galen.
Go fuck yourself.
Galen!
You're in this too? What is this bullshit?
Galen!
Galen, on behalf of the university, I want to personally acknowledge your contributions in the realm of astronomy. Your work, particularly your work on comets, has raised the profile of a once small astronomy department into the first rank. For this, we, the university, and the astronomy department have you to thank. And that thanks is hereby formally extended.
Why don't you take your thanks?
One moment, Galen, please. I beg your indulgence. I am also here to inform you that the university is hereby giving you a 1-year sabbatical. I know, you're 2 years short of your sabbatical time slot, but in your case, in honor of your work and the consideration of the toll this work has taken on the Board of Governors has waived those 2 years and made the sabbatical effective immediately.
Immediately? We're right in the middle of a semester. If I go on this sabbatical right now, what will my students do? How is that fair to them?
The board considered that matter and decided, in spite of that problem, to make the sabbatical effective immediately and on the usual terms and conditions, your full salary and all benefits intact. As for your students, we have already arranged for one of your fellow professors to take over until the end of the semester.
Oh?
Yes.
And who do you think could possibly step into my position?
Professor Jameson will fill your slot for the rest of the year.
Dr. Walter, this just really doesn't seem like a sabbatical. It seems like the old velvet heave-ho, and you can't give me a heave-ho, even a velvet one. You know that, without sufficient showing, just cause. And before any of this happens, can possibly take effect, I have the right to a trial in front of a board for whatever charges are brought.
You're making this difficult, Galen. Difficult for yourself, for your wife, for your friends. We love you. All of us do. You must understand that. But we're terribly worried about your health.
My health?
Your state of mind.
Oh, tell me about my state of mind, please.
We think, and people smarter than us think, that you need some rest, some time away from your work, some time to unwind. There are therapies. There are medications.
And what kinds of medications would those be, Doctor? Perhaps some Zyklon B? Something to calm me down? Something to calm me down forever?
Galen!
You're in on this too, I can see!
Galen, please. You haven't been well. I mean, look at this place. I mean, really. You've lost your perspective. That's what it is. And you need a break.
Well, I'm not going anywhere, folks. I'm staying right here. And if you don't mind, I actually have some lectures to prepare for tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. I've got some interesting new theories I'd like to propose. Something to get eager young minds spinning.
Galen, look. There are two ways we can go about this. You can accept my offer, or we can do it another way.
Oh, and what's the other way, Doctor?
Rule 17.
Which says?
Upon a sufficient medical showing, a tenured professor may be removed for any mental disorder which interferes with the performance of his duties.
And what is your sufficient medical showing?
I prefer not to be pressed on that matter. We'd all prefer that you voluntarily agree to a sabbatical immediately.
Your offer, such as it is declined, Herr Doctor. You think I don't know what happens if I take your offer? If I go on sabbatical right now, you don't have to publish my piece in this year's issue of the journal. And I don't intend to let that happen. My piece will be published this year. That having been said, tell me, what is your sufficient medical showing, Herr Doctor?
You know Graham Jenkins, Galen, the university attorney, and with him is Officer Clark to help escort you to St. Luke's.
I have here a court order requiring you to submit to custody, effective immediately, for 72 hours for the purpose of a mental evaluation examination.
Mental evaluation examination? For what?
Competency, sanity, and the question of whether you might be a danger to yourself or others.
This piece of paper you're holding is based on what?
Sworn affidavits.
Saying what?
You can read the document if you wish, Dr. Hannigan.
I don't want to read it, Jenkins. I want you to read it for me.
Okay. It says, named subject, a university professor, may be deemed a danger to himself or others because of increasingly frequent bouts of hallucinatory ideation, in which named subject claims the Earth is flying around the sun at thousands of miles an hour, and that day and night are not caused by the rising and setting sun, but by the Earth spinning around in circles. Since becoming obsessed with this notion, named professor has moved out of the family home, let his personal hygiene deteriorate to the point of medical concern, and has taken up occasional habitation with a homeless derelict who lives under a bridge. Do you want me to go on?
That's sufficient. And who swore to all of this?
Todd Jameson, Lindsay Malone, Dr. Reginald Walter, Dino Watkins, and Molly Hannigan.
Galen, we're worried about you. All of us are. You've lost your perspective.
We should be going, Dr. Hannigan. There's a car waiting outside. If you need to bring anything with you, I suggest you pick it up now.
Galen!
Molly, he's gonna be all right.
I didn't want it to happen this way.
Well, apparently it had to. But believe me, he's gonna be all right.
I'm not sure I did the right thing.
Molly, you did the right thing.
He's gonna hate me.
No, he's not gonna hate you, Molly. Not when he's well again. Galen's a sick man. You know that. I know it. We all know it. He needs some rest and rehabilitation. He needs to get away from all of this. Maybe even needs some psychiatric care and medication. He's a good man, and you know it. Come on, let's get you home.
Well, we gave it our best shot, Lindsay. He's just too far gone. Too far down the hole.
Just a wee bit, I'd say. I mean, help! I'm moving at thousands of miles an hour! Help! I'm falling!
The hold is only for 72 hours. What then?
He's not going to be out for a while, Dr. Walter. I can assure you of that. Before the 72 hours is up, there'll be a court hearing to determine whether this extraordinary hold should be continued. I've spoken to both Dr. Thomas and Dr. Chen, who will be testifying at the hearing. And there's no doubt in their minds, no doubt whatsoever, that Dr. Hannigan will be committed for at least 6 months. After that, we'll see.
Where will he go then?
From St. Luke's, they'll probably go to Kingsdale.
Oh, God.
It has to be a locked facility, Dr. Walter. And after that little display a moment ago, I don't think there's any doubt that a lockup is appropriate.
And what will happen there?
He'll get the care he needs.
How long will they keep him?
At Kingsdale? Yes. Hard to say. He won't be back anytime soon.
But not forever.
Unlikely that, Dr. Walter. It's hard to keep someone locked up forever. He'll get out when it's clear to his doctors and to the committing judge that he's no longer a menace to himself or to others. In other words, when he's no longer deeply delusional. Or, of course, no longer assaulting.
What a nasty business this whole thing has been. Do we have all the copies of that thing he wrote?
Hard to say. But even if we don't, I wouldn't worry. It's the work of a madman. And as long as our name isn't associated with it in any official capacity, who cares?
What about that strange little man who's been working with him?
Stapleton. What about him?
Is he still out and about?
Oh, he's harmless, Dr. Walter. A genius in numbers, they say, but he lost everything else in the war. Now he's just a harmless madman living under a bridge, which I imagine is where Galen Hannigan met him.
Does he have any formal connection to the university, this man, Stapleton?
None.
Good. And I suppose there's nothing to worry about.
Good.
You fucked! You fucked! Let me go! You have to let me go! You don't know what you're doing! You don't know what you're doing! Let me go! I can see through this! This is all a lie! Yeah, you have to tell the truth! Get off of me, you sheep! You fucking shit! Let me go! Let me go! Get off of me! Let me go! They put you up to this! They put you up to this! Get off of me! Get off! Get off! No! No! You don't know what you're doing! You can't listen to them! You can't listen! Let me go! Let me go! Stapleton! 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 It's a lie! If you do it, it's over. Let me go! Get off! You can't do this! You can't do this! No! No!